If a marriage proposal comes your way from someone whose level of deen, their connection with Allah, is solid, sincere, and acceptable, take it seriously. They don't have to be the most pious person on earth, but if they pray, they're responsible in their relationship with Allah, and they carry themselves with dignity, that matters. And then comes the second quality, good character. If their behavior, manners, and how they treat others is upright and trustworthy, the Prophet ﷺ says, let it happen. Let the marriage go ahead. And here's my favorite part of the hadith, and it's my favorite because while we hear it often, we also see it ignored the most. Usually by the same parents who later face the exact consequences the Prophet ﷺ warned us about. Then they turn around and blame everyone else, but the guidance was always clear. If someone has decent deen and good character, what are we waiting for? Good character means responsibility, maturity, the ability to commit. Sometimes just a few moments in conversation can give you a glimpse into how someone carries themselves, their vibe, their presence, their sincerity. But of course, don't stop there. Look deeper, investigate properly, and don't just trust what someone else says blindly. Far too often, I've seen cases where a parent asks a relative, "What do you think of this young man?" And the relative says, "Oh no, he's into drugs," or "He's not religious." But the truth? He's not on drugs. He's perfectly fine. Why the lies? Because that person wanted their own daughter to marry him. Subhanallah. That's the sad reality. Maybe you didn't expect to hear this, but some of you listening are living through exactly this situation. People lie. They slander. They say the worst things. Even about me, even about you. He promotes hatred. He's extreme. He's like this, like that. You know it's false. They know it's false, but why say it? Because of their own insecurities, their jealousy, their ego. What they don't realize is that with one careless word, they've possibly ruined someone's chance at happiness, all because they couldn't be honest. So speak the truth. If you don't know, say you don't know. And if you do know something, mention it with fairness. You could say, look, a while back, there was an issue, but it might have changed. I'm not sure. But the moment a child expresses interest in someone, especially if they met them at school or work, some parents panic. No, absolutely not. But let's be real. We live in a world where interaction is normal. And just because your child brought someone to your attention doesn't automatically mean they're having an affair or doing anything wrong. It might be the most respectful way to start the conversation. So hear them out, investigate, communicate. Because if the person they're interested in is sincere and genuine, regardless of background or race, saying no becomes harder.
Why? Because on one side you have Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and on the other, your own pride. Subhanallah. Yes, you may have had your own dreams for your child, but life happens. Things you didn't expect show up. And now you're faced with a choice. What do? You face it with faith, with wisdom, with reality. You measure the situation against the guidelines of Deen, not just your preferences. And if it aligns, you support your child the best you can. And to my beloved children, take your parents' advice seriously. Their guidance is valuable. But if they're not listening to you, try again. And keep trying. Never give up on building that bridge.